Welcome back to my channel. Welcome, you guys. So I figured it's kind of heading towards the afternoon right now, and I could go ahead and do some plant chores with you. I have a couple of alocasia, like newer alocasia, that I've shared with you guys that I want to go ahead and get transferred to semi-hydro. And then I also actually have a plant mail purchase that just came. USPS delivered it, which they're actually kind of early, so I'm excited that it's already here. So maybe we can open this first. My Anthurium pallidiflorum, the berries are starting to pop out of the inflow, so I want to go ahead and start harvesting some of them. And then the last thing I'll probably do is the main thing that I always have to do is pot up plants. I have so many propagation bins that are just overflowing that need to get out ASAP. So I'll probably do a lot of that off camera, but I'll share some of that process with you. And so I think that'll be a good little video for you guys today. All right, here is the plant mail package. So this is a cutting. So I had been looking for a philodendron Micans, but a true pink form, and I've been hesitant to buy one because I'm not really sure if they're a true pink, because you know sometimes emergent leaves look different under certain lighting until they fully develop and harden off, and if it's like more sun stressed it can turn a little pink, but they're not like an actual true pink. I was searching for one and this shop came up. It's just a random shop on Etsy, and I was looking at the photos. I'm like, oh my gosh, these look legit. And so it's just a cutting, like one little mid cutting. It did have some roots, no growth point activation yet. So let's hope this one turns out to be a true pink. I'll have to grow it out. I was a little anxious just getting a cutting because, you know, anything can happen with just a cutting. There's like little mushrooms on the box right here. That's cute. I think this was shipped, was it shipped on Saturday or Friday? So it's been in the mail for probably like 5 days. Okay. Yeah, the heat pack is cold. I wasn't going to get winter protection, but the weather has been so crazy lately, like up and down, up and down. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and get it just in case. But here it is. Oh, it has a little arrow. I think she was rooting it in water, so I'll probably just stick it in water until it roots up a bit more, and then I'll get it planted. But the listing photos were so gorgeous on this leaf. The stem looked nice too. It was like half and half, like a half moon type variegation. Oh, I didn't even see that on the top of it. It says pink Mican. It's so gloomy today. I don't think it's gonna rain though. Ooh. Let's see. Oh wow, she's a tiny little thing. Oh, it's so pretty, the pink on that. Oh my goodness, let me show you up close. All right, I don't know if this is going to, there you go, you can see that pink. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let me see what the stem looks like. I wonder if it's popped its growth point yet. Oh, it's so cute. Definitely really moist still in this. Okay. Oh no, I hope it's not all white. I'll get this popped in some water. So that's what the stem looks like. You can see the pink on the stem. Do you see that variation? And then that's the growth point. So that hadn't popped out yet, but let's hope it does well and it grows well for me. Just a tiny little cutting. But I'm gonna get it popped in some water. I'll just rinse it off really quick. whoops, I have begonia in the sink. This is the new one. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my plant room because it's too big for the quarantine bin, and I've had it quarantining for a while, like all the plants in there, and I haven't noticed like any surprises. I do have beneficials on this one though. I have mites everywhere. I had a little baggie that I took off. It did shoot out a new growth point right here. A second one that has some pretty pink color. The newest leaf though isn't as pink, but I think it's getting bleached by the grow light in there. The leaf is humongous. And then there's another growth point here, down here starting. So I still think this one's going to give me some really good color over time, but she's really root bound. She was completely dry. So I might have to go ahead and upsize this one at some point here soon. But yeah, I need to get it out of that quarantine bin. I have an extra little propagation vessel. It's just a little mushroom. I'm gonna stick it in here. If you hear that noise, that beeping, we still have crickets in the house, and it's been like a week and a half since we first noticed them. There's like 3 or 4 of them. There she goes. So I think what I'll do with her is stick her in the window right there. I know it's super bright. I don't think I'm going to isolate or quarantine this one. I don't see any pests or anything on it, and I feel like it would do well in the window. That way it can root up, and hopefully I get some good growth to come in on it. That's what I'll do with her. But isn't that pink so pretty? Do you see what I mean? A lot of the pink, I feel like it doesn't harden off to pink, and this one does. I think they're house crickets, and we have not seen them anywhere. I think there's 3 of them because there was one near the laundry area. There was one coming from our bathroom. And then there was also one coming from like the shop room area in there. It literally felt like it was inside the room, but I did a sweep in there and I didn't see anything. So I don't know if it got like under the baseboard or it's like in the drywall. I don't know if you heard it. And like we literally cannot see them. The cats are not paying it any attention either. So I'm thinking they'll probably just die off in the next week or so. I actually don't hear the one in the pantry area anymore, and that was the first one that I heard. And then the other one started popping up like a couple days later. So it's really weird to me that we would all of a sudden get like a few house crickets. So I don't know, it's very random. We've never had any issues like that the whole time we've been living here. So I'm hoping they just die off. I haven't heard the one in the bathroom in a bit either. So maybe that one already escaped or something. So the only one that I'm really hearing is like down that way. So I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. The chirping has been driving me absolutely crazy though. All right, I have my pond mix and 2 self-watering pots and a little bin. The 2 plants that I want to move to pond, this Alocasia, I think it's a gold, but it kind of burns in a more like a peachy color. This one hasn't been in stratum perlite for too long, but it is pushing a new leaf, but I feel like these tiny cups dry out so quickly. So it's like, it's hard for me to keep them in there for a long time because then I end up underwater stressing them. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and put it into pond. And this is the Mellow. I've had this one the longest, and I think it's pretty rooted in here now. And I think it was like drooping because of the quarantine bin getting too much light, more than likely. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this to pond today. This oldest leaf is going, so I might go ahead and cut that one off. But let's do this one first. And then I'll probably get these moved into my IKEA cabinet. I was just in there grabbing my pond in my plant room, and I'm like, looking at my cabinet, there's so many dry plants. I'm like, it's not time to water yet. And then I was thinking I watered my plant room early. I actually watered it Thursday night. because we had some family in town over the weekend, and so I wanted to have some free time. So normally I water my plant room on Saturdays, but since I watered it Thursday night, there's some dry plants in there. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to do some watering a bit later today too. I was like trying to top off a few plants really quick in there. So that means these plants, the Anthuriums, I'm gonna have to water them tomorrow, I think. I guess that is what happens when you are used to doing things on a certain day, and then when you do them on a different day, you just get thrown off track. At least that's how I feel. That cricket. All right, let's do this one. She's starting to corm already. Not quite though. I'll give you a look at my cabinet. So in the last repotting video, I had mentioned I had moved my Capria variegated to out of pond because I felt like it didn't like it. And I moved my pink ones out of pond as well. And I can tell already one of the pink ones is pushing a new leaf, and I can tell the root system is actually starting to grow. So I feel like they're gonna be a lot happier. I think I'll just grow them in the cocoa coir mix and tree fern. I might have a little rot. I'll have to rinse, I can't tell for sure. That's the root system, and yeah, you can't really see. There's a couple spots where it might want to start corming. And here she is all rinsed. They look pretty good. If this one ends up not liking pond, I might just grow it in the tree fern mix, but we'll give it a go. I should have grabbed a potting mat, not dripping on this table. I think I have a little bit of nutrients made up from the other day, so I'll add a little bit in here. I'll have to see how this one does. If I feel like, I don't know, I feel like some alocasia, like the Caprias I was talking about, just like really high oxygenation at the root system level. So if this one's not liking the constant moisture, I may have to just let it go through more of a dry phase rather than it staying wet all the time. So I'll have to see. The Maharani seems to like pond, but it hasn't sized up quite a bit yet. I'll add water here in a second. I'll just like flush that through. I feel like that's the thing though. I'm kind of like regretting this purchase. I wished I had spent a little bit more time trying to source one that was I guess better grown. And that's the thing too. It's like I feel like I'm struggling plant shopping now, or trying to find plants, because one, I try to look for good genetics, and then two, it's just like filtering through so much stuff now. It's like I don't know what's corm grown, I don't know what's tissue culture grown. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, well maybe I'll just start buying actual corms and grow them out, because at least I know I'm getting a corm. But then I'm like, I'm risking variegation and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know. It's been hard lately. This one's definitely tissue culture. I actually bought a plant, or an alocasia, that I think I'm just going to end up tossing because I've had it for a bit and it's not doing anything. And the listing said it was corm grown, and it wasn't. It was a TC plug. And I think it was a fresh TC plug that somebody just like planted. and so it's struggling. I think what I might do purchasing Alocasia starters is maybe confirm with the seller if it's TC or corn grown first. I prefer buying corn grown just because I know they are different starting points than, you know, a tissue culture plug, and I would prefer to grow them quicker and have them size up quicker. All right, so that's the root system on that one. And let me rinse this. I feel like I've gotten so many variegated Alocasia over the past couple of years, and I'm kind of at a point now where I'm like, I don't necessarily want to keep collecting them. There might be another couple I would want. I more or less just want strong, healthy mother plants that I can get corns from. They have good genetics. They're like happy and healthy. I feel like that's my focus. It's so little. Look how cute it is. It's so tiny. All right, we'll go back to the sink again and give these a little bit of a drink. I'm going to go ahead and clip this leaf away since it's expiring. Like that. And then she'll be kind of front facing, but she is getting ready to push a new leaf here. Yeah, I'll try and make room in my IKEA cabinet for these instead of putting them back in quarantine, because that quarantine bin is so full right now. That's why I kind of want to get the wide cabinets put together sooner than later so I can kind of rearrange the plants. Just give them a little rinse through here. I'm going to add a little bit of nutrient water to the reservoir. Just a little bit though, so that it doesn't sit super wet right now. There's that one. And that one, I love the peachy tone to that. It's so pretty. And the half moon. All right, next I'm going to start harvesting some berries, and I'm going to germinate them in water for a little bit, then I'll get them put into moss to like finish rooting and everything. But the berries that are popping off, there's a lot of them, so I want to go ahead and get them, you know, in water so that they don't dry out. This is the other inflow that I shared with you guys that's pollinated, but I don't know if she's going to hang on to it. Let me see if I can give you guys a different angle because it's so bright by the window. But you see all the ones that are like popping out? They're the ones that are ready to come off. Okay. Whoa, that is crazy. Look at all those berries. That's insane. I know these ones down here aren't ripe yet. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just pluck them and put them in here because I have to remove the outer shell before I put them in water, but all the ones that come right off, we'll just pluck in here. I can't wait to grow some baby pallies. This is so exciting. Oh yeah, there's a lot that's getting ready to pop off. I'll probably be plucking these like every day until I can no longer pluck them. Getting quite a bit in there. Looks like to me there's one seed per berry. Okay, I'll let the rest, I think, ripen longer. I got a good little mix that was ready to come off. Okay. Look at the berries. This is so exciting. I feel like it's taken me a while to get her to finally have, you know, berries. So I'm glad I can finally grow some baby pallies. Oh no, there's two. Oh my gosh, are you serious? There's 2 seeds in that little berry. Oh my Lanta. I'm gonna have so many. They are sticky. Oh my gosh, each each berry is gonna have 2 seeds, watch. I wouldn't be surprised if I have over 600. There's probably easily over 300 berries, and multiply that by 2 seeds each. I need like little tongs because they're sticking. Plop them in water so they don't stick to me. That is insane. I was not expecting 2 seeds per berry. What the heck? There's like a slimy shell. I think I got most of it off. I think there's one that still has a bit of it off. I'm trying to like swish it to get that off, but that's crazy. That was literally, I don't even know how many berries that was. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think 16 berries I plucked off. And there was at least 2 seeds each. One of them had 3. They're tiny seeds, very tiny. I'm so used to my clarinervium, you know, it has really ginormous seeds. And the alocasia that I did, those seeds were like really big too. So yeah, I'm just gonna let them germinate a little bit in water, then I'll get them planted. I'm probably just gonna leave this sit over at the window area. Actually, I might just leave it on the shelf over there. That way, if a berry is like loose, I can like go ahead and add seeds to this, and then I'll start a tray probably later this week. I'll start a propagation tray with moss. I'm just gonna dump the seeds in there, and I'll probably start listing them as some of them germinate. I feel like I'd rather germinate them a little bit first, and then I'll start listing if any of you want to grow Anthurium from seed, or if you've never done that or want to try. Because yeah, I definitely cannot grow 600 philodendron out. That would be insane. Could you imagine if I just had 600 philodendrons in the house? That's craziness. There's one seed that has the mushy membrane. I don't know what you call it, that outer sticky layer, slimy, gooey layer. Usually swishing it like helps detach it from the seed. It'll probably come off the more it sits in here. But yeah, that is our little seed starting on that. That's craziness. So I think what I'm going to do probably the rest of the afternoon is go through my prop bins and start potting plants up. I think I'll work on that. Maybe I'll do like a couple with you. That way I can get those plants growing and then I can do more propagating. But yeah, this is so cool. So cool that I have little seeds from my Pally. She definitely put in the work to that inflow because that inflow is freaking humongous. Yeah, it's a tight fit in here. I can make room though. I will make room. Some of these alocasia need to come out. They're getting too tall. I don't want to disturb the lacewing larvae though. I saw them like crawling around everywhere in here last night when I was in here. I think I can sit that one there and maybe I can move this over. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to create more space in here. We'll do this beside the Maharani up here. Also, there's a new leaf on my pink Shan and it is stunning. So this all pink one is still holding on. I'm surprised. It hasn't like yellowed off, but this is the new leaf and look. She has become one of my favorite alocasia right now. Like look how pink. And I like, you know, the sectoral blocky variegation. So this is like perfect for me. Like look how pretty. She's a very beautiful alocasia. Definitely I think she's become one of my favorites. Yeah, for sure. She's getting big already. And she's been pretty easy too, pretty easy going. This was a corm grown pink Shan. Gorgeous. This is the Capri Latte that we put into we took out a pond. And so far so good. She seems happy. There is a new growth point that hasn't popped out yet. I did my pink ones and so far I feel like they're adjusting well. So this is the tissue culture one, the marbled Capria. And it really wasn't taking off in semi-hydro. I just felt like it was struggling. And I can tell it seems happy so far. It's working on a new leaf here. But this is the one. This is the one that I've almost killed like 3 times now. This is the more expensive one because this is a true pink Capria. And you can see that I almost killed it twice. That leaf is going, or 3 times. That leaf is yellowing. And this was the leaf that, the biggest one that I got on it. And it just wasn't doing well in pond. I just immediately knew something was wrong. And I actually see some root right there peeking out. And literally within like 2 weeks, I have a new leaf already. And you can see she has some chunky, chunky pink variegation right there. Look at that. Getting a very expensive plant that you've almost killed a few times is very nerve-wracking. So I'm glad she seems like she's doing better. Her base was actually rotting. And her roots, like her corm base, you know, when you grow an alocasia from corm, the actual corm completely rotted off. And so what's left underneath here is just a stump, like her stump. So I think she's going to make a good comeback. Because I want to grow her to be huge in my collection. Same with the, you know, the other ones. I think I'm gonna get my Frydek put in pond soon. And I have some rehab like dragon scale. It's just a mess. This cabinet is turned into a hot mess. Here's an update on the Micans cuttings. So this is the Micans Aria. The new growth comes in of more of that like orangey yellow, and it can kind of, if it sun stresses, if it gets like too much light, it can turn like reddish in a way. But I love the creamy tones on mine. But you see how the pink one is different? I wanted like an actual pink one as well. So yeah, I got lots of new growth coming in since we put this one in pond. So I haven't grown this Micans in pond. So I'm curious how it's going to do because they're very water sensitive, these guys, at least mine was when I had it climbing up that wall over there. So I'm curious how it's going to do in semi-hydro. If this one continues to do well and the leaves don't melt as easily, which I'm thinking, since these ones are holding on and they're not like experiencing edema or melting, I'm thinking the pink one might like pond. But I didn't really fill this reservoir very full, like it's pretty much empty. But it's still staying pretty moist. These guys I feel like a lot of airflow and not staying too wet. So yeah, I'm excited to grow that one back out. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a couple of propagation bins in my mix and meet you out there, and I'll do some of the potting up with you, and then I'll probably just finish the rest off camera because I want to try and spend a few hours potting up plants this evening. But I'll share some of that process with you so I don't bore you to death, and we'll get this video kind of wrapped up. There's a lot going on here. Let me see, let me get myself together. So these are the prop bins that once I pot up plants that are in like high humidity like this here, then I'll put them in here to keep the humidity up. This can hold 16 3-inch pots. But some of these I may put in a 3.5-inch, we'll see. Actually, here, I'm gonna put this there. I have to put my soil down here on the right-hand side. Okay, and then I have pots 3 and 3.5-inch. I have a potting mat this time, and this is the tray, or one of the trays that is exploding. I don't even think these plants have been getting high humidity because they've popped the lid open. I have like 4 trays where this has happened. This was taken all from my moss pole propagations. These poor plants in here have been meaning to come out for so long. So I'll probably just tackle this one with you. And like I said, I'm gonna do some more stuff like all evening. I wanna dedicate to getting a lot of the props taken care of. I can store some bins in my plant room in the meantime until I can free up space in the other room. Yeah, some of these I just need to get out. It's time. It is way past time. But I have, I think, philodendron, mostly philodendron glorious, and I have some majestic, which I am downsizing that philodendron. I have some monstera mints that were just from my tissue culture, just nodes that have sprouted. And really it might just be glorious in here. Oh, there might be a couple gigas actually. I think the other bin has monstera adansonii and maybe more gigas. And I think the moss. Oh no, it's actually still damp. Let me see, let me take this off and just show you. Look at all these beautiful plants. Isn't that crazy? I cannot believe how squished that was. Look at that. Beautiful. You can see some gigas down in there. Right? Like, this is how majority of the plants start, from like a little node. You can see all the chunks from my moss poles. So I don't think I have to worry about leaving these out of high humidity, because like I said, I don't think they were really getting that much humidity, but normally I do like a couple at a time. So these are in spag moss. Sometimes I mix perlite, but you can see all the actual green moss that has formed because of how long they've been in here. So I'm just going to get rid of the moss in this, and then this is my tree fern cocoa corn mix that I'm going to plant them in. And I'll give them a little bit of nutrients, just a light fertilizer. I'll probably dilute it by half strength because these guys haven't gotten any nutrients yet. And I don't want to like overdo it right away because I am going to make them a little angry getting the root system untangled. I just don't even know where to begin with this. Like, this is crazy. It's like, look at this. It's like a pancake of roots. It's all roots in here. But this is my favorite way to grow plants when you are limited on space, and I just like node propagating the best because like I can just throw everything in a prop bin and they eventually sprout. And if some rot, some rot. If some just don't grow that well, like I'll just call them. if some are like not good specimens. So sometimes what I do is I free the plant from the actual chunk, and sometimes I leave it because I worry like separating it, then whatever stored nutrients are in here, maybe the plant isn't getting anymore. But it depends on how much of a root system I get, because once the actual plant grows off sometimes the chunk doesn't root at all, but there is a nice long root system from this. And usually what happens is once the plant sprouts, it'll start its own little root system off the first node here. And so sometimes I just clip it away at the base right here and then plant this up as a separate plant. But it really depends, because sometimes this chunk can kind of rot and just not look as nice. And since these guys are pretty much establishing already, what I'll do is just give them usually a few weeks to start rooting into the substrate, and then once they stabilize, then I let them go at that point. It really does depend on the plant, because sometimes after they've been in the prop bin for so long, sometimes they just don't grow that well. And if a plant doesn't grow well, like I don't want to list it, so I'll end up just getting rid of that specimen. If you really think about it, I rarely throw away any extra node that I have. I usually save everything, which is crazy in the grand scheme of things if you think about it, saving every node. But I've gotten to a point now where it's just not possible to keep up with every single node. And sometimes just like keeping the healthier stock is what I prefer to do, because I don't want to, if something has like weak genetics or just is growing more weak, not looking the best, then I don't really want to try and save it, you know what I mean? All right, so that, I think I'll go ahead and just keep this chunk as is. And then that was the first little leaf right here. And that was the second leaf, and then that was the most, no wait, this was the second leaf, crazy jump size, and that's the most recent one. But I'm gonna plant him kind of on the side a bit, because he's kind of like, he was growing straight because there was no room to grow. Like normally this should be like up like that. It doesn't really signify a big pot based on the root system. So normally I would start in a smaller pot. That's just what I prefer to do. But because this is going to be a bigger plant, I feel like it's going to be best to start it in a bigger one, and it can root into here. That's what I'll do, because it's just crazy to me that philodendron plants have the, I've said this before, how they have the smallest little root systems. It's so crazy. You would think for big plants they would have a big root system, but that's just not the case. So we'll kind of anchor him a bit. What I'm going to do is actually get rid of this tiny leaf here, and we'll plant him up like this. Kind of on the side, we'll leave the chunk. I was grabbing this bin out of my plant room just now, and thinking about how many, like thinking of when I go to rearrange and paint in there and do the cabinets, it's going to be so nice to like redo that space. But then I was thinking like I have so much chopping to do, and I was thinking like I'm probably going to downsize some plants in there. Some more like duplicates or bigger plants. Some of them I held on to because I wasn't sure that I wanted to officially downsize them, like Monstera Esqueleto. I saw that one, it's just growing a big runner. So I think I'm going to downsize it officially, because I like my Monstera Adansonii better and I'm more attached to it. And you know, I restarted that one back. And they are kind of similar. And Esqueleto, I feel like I've kind of fallen out of love with that one. I feel like it's a bit more finicky as well, but I just don't need two plants like that that look similar like that. So once he stabilizes and starts growing, we'll list him. But I'm gonna make, I'll probably do a few and then I'll take them to the sink and water nutrient, give them some nutrients, and then I'll put them in the bin. Oh, my Lanta, look at this one. Poor guy, so squished. Oh, I don't want to get the leaf on this one. Oh, I haven't sold a gigas in so long. My gigas, you know, I've restarted and it's already getting so big. It's like the leaf size is continuing from, because that was like a top cut from the plant that I had growing, and it's not like sizing down. So it's gonna be huge. I can't wait though. I really like the gigas. I really wanted to grow Melanochrysum and then I just couldn't. I tried for so long, like over 3 years to grow that plant. I recently came across a variegated one on my search for something. It was like an orange Milano and I'm like, dang, that's really pretty. But then I'm thinking, if I had that much trouble growing a regular Melanochrysum, the variegated one's probably gonna be even more difficult. So I'm like, I think I should stay away from that plant. Is there a variegated philodendron gigas? I don't know if there is. See, I love gigas though. Like, look how beautiful. Beautiful. We'll do this one in a 3-inch because he's got a tiny, tiny root system. I think I'll do one of each plant in here and then I'll do the rest and show you the bin once I'm done. So cute. I need to add a little stake in here. Oh my goodness, I can't. It's so cute. It's adorable. Let's do a majestic. I think I only have 1 or 2, maybe only 1. I could have another. There's some wet sticks that look like they maybe haven't sprouted yet. Maybe because the other ones were overcrowding them. Majestic is a really pretty philodendron, but I decided to keep Sorderoy instead. And now, like, now that Sorderoy is growing huge again, it's so sticky. That is one of the most stickiest philodendron with the nectaries. I'm like, I kind of want to downsize Sorderoy. Decisions. See, majestic is really pretty. That silver tone. I'll do this one in a 4-inch. I love all these baby plants. My battery died. I potted up a couple more and then I was actually noticing a lot of the chunks haven't really done much yet. Like some of them have sprouted, but they're super tiny, like really tiny leaves. So they need to cook a lot longer. So any of the chunks that are like that, I have several. I'm just going to add them to a new prop bin. I'll just refresh one. What I usually do is just consolidate and create one new one. That way, you know, I don't have a million separate containers to go through. I got some big ones in here. It's just taking the moss off the roots because I don't want to rip them, so that just takes a while. Yeah, I have a few more gigas in here and glorious. Got a little baby gigas. I'll pop this one up because it has one decent little root here. I might take those to the sink after this one and then give them a drink so that they're not sitting, so they don't dry out the roots. This one's so little. And it's amazing how quickly these will take off once they get under really good conditions. And once they actually start getting some nutrients, especially now that it's spring, you know, I feel like plant growth is so much different over the growing season versus over winter. All right, let me take these over to the sink and then we'll do those next. I'm gonna let those last few plants drain and then I'll add a couple more in here because the leaves are kind of big. But I got the lid on so they can get some extra humidity to kind of help them like post repotting and messing with roots because of all the moss. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the day because it gets kind of repetitive. Like I'm sure you guys don't really care to see me do this over and over again. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and spending your time here. I hope it was an enjoyable video for you. I don't know exactly what my content schedule next month is going to be because I feel like it's going to be a very busy month with getting the plant room done, well, redone and all of that. And then I have so much, I feel like I have so much repotting and chopping and plant care to do. So it's definitely going to be a busy spring and summer over here. But I'll do a walkthrough at some point. I think once I get the plant room done, I'll give an overview of everything. And then hopefully I'll have like the cabinets all organized and everything all nice and neat in there. But thank you so much again for being here and for the support. I hope you have a good rest of your week and I will talk to you again soon.